So the next question type we have here is a check all that apply type of question. Heather, again, how to, let's maybe go through this one, and then you can sort of tee up the principles that you have.
Okay, so I'm going to just get right to the question right now.
Yeah.
Which of the following daylighting strategies should be used in all climate regions to improve energy efficiency? Check the 4 that apply. So the check all that apply questions we've seen before, probably on tests, even through in grammar school. Honestly, if I can speak candidly, not my favorite, because you're really on it. You either know it or you don't, and oftentimes you don't get partial credit. So I always find these pretty daunting, but they're there and we deal with them. And the most important thing to know is for these questions, you just have to know the material. So you can't walk into the ARE not studying at all, because questions like this are just gonna, the chances of getting them right with not knowing the material is going to be pretty difficult. So before I even look at my 6 options in the bottom, I'm going to look at the question, see what do I know? Well, they're asking for daylighting. What do I know about daylighting? Daylighting is good. Everyone likes natural light. You want to use your building and plan it to optimize daylighting. Glare is bad. You don't want to outfit your building with mirrors or shiny surfaces. And let's see. Daylighting, natural light is preferred by a lot of users. Mm-hmm. So just kind of talking through what daylighting is before I even look at the answers is great. So mm-hmm. Now let's look at the answers. A says provide active heating with sunlight collection. Well, while they say sunlight in here, I'm wondering what they mean by active heating. So that's kind of on my wishy-washy list right now.
Okay.
B says maintain on-site daylight access. That makes sense. We just said how we would plan to use that. C says utilize reflection and incorporate diffuse light. Yes, that makes sense. D says use sunlight to increase stack ventilation. Now here's that little distractor you were talking about before. They're throwing sunlight into it, but what does stack ventilation have to do with daylighting? So again, a little iffy to me. Mm-hmm. Manage glare. We talked about that before I even looked at the questions, so yes. And collect sunlight architecturally. That's what we do in this profession, is we design things to improve life for people. So that makes sense. Now just reading through those 1 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 4 that are possible, and it says check the 4 that apply. So I feel pretty confident answering the question like that. Mm-hmm.
When I think about this type of question, I think there's 2 things that I think of. One is, or things to note to everyone. One is that you should know that, as best as NCARB has told us, they're not going to do a check all that apply, which is, and of course that's that's the formal name of this type of question. But instead they're going to give you a certain number. They're going to say, give us, check 4 that apply or check 3, which does help sort of limit the complexity here. Because if you don't know if it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, sometimes, again, the anxiety about what the right question is can really kind of go up. The other thing is to really trust your gut, or let's say, don't second guess yourself necessarily. Because as Heather just demonstrated, you kind of go through the question, you kind of go through the answers, and you end up with 4 of them. And I'm like, well, oftentimes I think the good advice is go with your first instinct on a question type like this. Heather, do you have anything to add to that?
I'm just going to agree with that. I think more often than not, you guess right the first time, and when you start second guessing, that's when you start getting into trouble.
Agreed. All right, awesome. So grow with your gut, and then there'll be a specific number they will be looking for in these types of questions. So okay, so that's the check all that apply. And I don't know, maybe we could even say that maybe these will be a little bit easier because, again, they're giving you 4, they're giving you a specific number. So again, you should maybe feel a little bit more confident about these types of questions.